Good evening. 2 years after the death of Coventry schoolboy Daniel Pelker, children's services in the city have been judged inadequate. Ofsted inspectors today said the department, which failed to stop the 4-year-old from being starved, tortured and murdered, is not improving quickly enough. This evening, Coventry City Council called for a meeting of all councillors to debate the findings of the report. It says it's committed to improving services for the most vulnerable children. Callum Watkinson reports.
4-year-old Daniel Pelker was starved for months, then murdered by his mother and her boyfriend. But several reports have now highlighted failings in a social care system that might have saved him. Today, another report by Ofsted said that Coventry City Council child protection measures are inadequate, and the Department for Education said work being done to improve them isn't moving fast enough. The Ofsted report said that too many children and young people in Coventry who need help and protection are not seen swiftly enough, which means they are left at risk of harm. It said that domestic abuse notifications are not all jointly screened between social care and the police to ensure that there was timely sharing of information. And it said that social workers here have very high caseloads and that this means they cannot do their job properly. That those tasked with keeping an eye on vulnerable children here have too much to do is not news to one union that represents dozens of them.
I've had one lady that spoke to me, and her home work balance is just completely shot. She takes work home, she thinks about the cases. There's that constant, have I forgotten something? What's going to come back from this? Because when every case is a priority, how do you prioritise?
Caseloads are up by 46% over the last 2 years. At the start of this month, social workers were dealing with more than 4,500 children. That's up from 3,085 a year ago.
I think there's a certain sensitivity in people not wanting to make the same mistakes perhaps or oversights that were made in Daniel Pelker's case. But I think there's just an increase in demand on the services.
The council says it is putting an extra £5.6 million into child protection, and that Ofsted did have some good points to make.
Whilst it is disappointing, there are some very strong and encouraging comments in respect to the work that we do with looked after children, in respect to the work that our adoption service does, and also in respect to the work we do with care leavers.
But the Department for Education says the pace of change here isn't good enough, and it's considering what further actions are needed. Callum Watkinson, ITV News, Coventry.
A man from Hereford has been sentenced to life in prison for murdering his friend in the city last August. Stephen Paynter, who was 46, was stabbed in the neck with a kitchen knife by his friend Stacey Hales. Hales had gone to the flat to demand £40 that Mr Paynter owed him for bike parts. A soldier from Tenbury Wells has been recognised for his bravery during a tour of Afghanistan. Major GEOFF Brocklehurst served in the country last summer and was one of 117 soldiers commended today. David Wood reports.
For 6 months, these men and women risked their lives on the front line in Afghanistan. But now, safely back home, it's their bravery that's being rewarded.
Major GEOFF Brocklehurst.
Major GEOFF Brocklehurst from Tenbury Wells in Worcestershire has been awarded the Military Cross. He led a group of more than 200 men during the tour in one of the most dangerous parts of the country.
You'd routinely wake up to gunfire or an explosion, literally just either at your patrol base or at an Afghan National checkpoint, Afghan National Army checkpoint just down the road. It was plus 40 degrees quite often, in June, which was the hottest month, 48 degrees, no air conditioning, you're drinking upwards of 12-13 litres of water a day, but you're living there with your guys, and it's the job you've been trained to do, it's what you want to do, and they're all in the same pot together.
But these men and women aren't the only ones being awarded today. In total, 117 soldiers and members of the Navy and the RAF are being recognised, all for putting their lives in danger and helping someone else. 3 of their colleagues were killed during the 6-month tour. All who served faced tough conditions, with many coming under fire as they tried to save others. They were all part of Operation Herrick 18 between last April and September, a period of time where the Afghan forces took control, but it was still a dangerous time.
We do ask our soldiers to do extraordinary things, and there's a danger we slightly take it for granted because they take it for granted. They just kind of do it in the run of the mill. But you know, we are asking our soldiers to do, soldiers, sailors and airmen, to do dangerous things day in, day out, and that these individuals should be marked out for special recognition, I think is a recognition of just what extraordinary things they achieved.
For many, the summer was their last tour in Afghanistan. Their battlefield bravery will be recognised by the Queen, who will present their medals later in the year. David Wood, ITV News.
The West Midlands is the cheapest place in the country to buy diesel. That's according to a new report. It costs 136.3 pence a litre on average in the region. A study into fuel prices by the AA found that rates for fuel are at a 3-year low. Now, just before the weather, which isn't looking so good this weekend, here's something which is a bit brighter. There are some beautiful displays of daffodils right across the West Midlands at the moment. There are more than 500,000 out along the riverbank at Shugborough Hall in Staffordshire.
We believe we've got a world-class display of daffodils. We've got a half-mile long stretch of river just here. We think there's over 500,000 daffodils on our estate. Obviously, we're an internationally important landscape, and they're just beautiful this year. They're not quite there yet. We believe they're going to peak on Mother's Day, which is just perfect.
Perfect, and they do look beautiful, don't they? Time now for a look at the weather forecast. Here's Lucy Kite.
A short break. Whatever the weather. ITV Local Weather, sponsored by Centre Parks.
Hello, well, some heavy showers in the forecast for this weekend, and it's going to feel chilly as well thanks to this area of low pressure sitting to the north of us. You can see the showers circulating around this, a little bit of snow as well, mainly for higher ground on the Staffordshire moorlands, and then high pressure will build to settle things down for Sunday night and Monday. So then, as for the rest of tonight, some showers to come, but they will gradually clear, and we'll be left with a really chilly night with clearing skies, a widespread frost overnight and a chilly start to the day tomorrow. And the showers will get going really quickly. The heaviest of them will be early afternoon. See you later.
ITV Local Weather, sponsored by Centre Parks.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out our website for all the latest news, weather and sport as it happens. That's itv.com/central. For now, though, thanks for watching. Good night.
Looking for someone,